Welcome to Gift of Life, the organ transplant podcast. These are the stories of those who have received, given, and who are waiting for the gift of life, organ transplantation. Now here's your host and heart and kidney recipient, BJ Odom.
Welcome to the Gift of Life, the organ transplant podcast. We've been exploring some extraordinary individuals with some amazing stories over the past several months, and we will continue to do so. Of course, today, as this podcast being released, it is December 24th, Christmas Eve. Even more of a time to be thankful for all of us transplant patients, and of course, to wish and hope for those waiting for transplants that their dreams will come true and their lives will change forever. So we just want to, wish you all a very Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, however you say it. Also, we want to take a moment to thank all the people that have shared their journeys. And of course, if you have a journey that you would like to share on the podcast, feel free to get a hold of us by email. Our email, giftoflifepodcast@gmail.com. Again, that is giftoflifepodcast@gmail.com. As we have talked to several individuals, I'm talking heart transplant recipients, kidney recipients. We've talked to liver transplant recipients, lung transplant recipients, pancreas. We've pretty much covered the gambit of transplants, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Of course, my story, had a heart transplant back in 2003, which means I'm 21 years out. Amazing. And of course, I had a kidney, 2015. That seems to be working great. So as far as the world of transplants, it has blessed me to no end. Let me tell you also, if you do like this podcast, please, make sure you leave that 5-star review. It helps us as far as people searching for podcasts. It will help us also, that review. So we ask you to review, subscribe, and to give us that 5-star review wherever you get your favorite podcast, whether it be Apple, Spotify, Podbean, wherever. iHeartRadio, we're all over the place, and we want to thank each and every one of those places for allowing us to show up on their podcast list. And of course, we have a big thank you to the Podcast Playground, where we are on their network, and we appreciate them so very much too. Also, while you're out there, if you're looking for us on Facebook, you can do that. Gift of Life, the Organ Transplant Podcast. We mentioned people that we've had on the podcast as far as all the different organs that were transplanted. Also want to say a very big thank you for the donor families and the living donors who have given up their time to come on the podcast to give us their stories. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I mentioned, I'm 21 years out on my heart transplant back in 2003. And let me tell you, the record for the longest time living with a transplanted heart by John McCafferty from the United Kingdom. He had lived for over 33 years after his heart transplant back in 1982. He passed away in 2016 at the age of 73 due to unrelated complications. As of today, across the country, there are 90,413 people waiting for a kidney. The liver, 9,392. Hearts, 3,569. Lungs, 941. The pancreas, 847. And intestines, 186. And for those on the list for a heart and lung transplant, 39 patients await. That's why organ donation is so very important. So on this holiday, I know we're all thinking of good cheer and the magic of Christmas. And no one, especially this time of year, wants to lose a loved one. But this would be the perfect time while we're all gathered around, for Christmas dinner or Christmas holiday or New Year's, and tell our family what our wishes are, especially if you want to be an organ donor. I know a lot of people say, well, it's on my driver's license, but that not necessarily will make you automatically an organ donor because, well, if something would happen to you and your family is in that position to make, the decision on whether you want to be an organ donor or not, pretty much they're going to have the final say. And if they don't know your wishes, they may say, no, this isn't something we want to do. I don't think he would want to do it. She would want to do it. So please, I beg you during this holiday season to have that talk, even if it's just a short little talk, to tell your loved ones your feelings that you want to make a difference and you want to be an organ donor. That way, all those people I just mentioned on that list, possibly you could save up to 8 lives, change lives like you could not imagine. And let's say there's nothing wrong with you. You're 100% physically fine. There are ways that you can actually donate a kidney because we have 2 kidneys. Many people in this world operate fine with just 1 kidney. And if anything would happen to that 1 kidney, it'll put you on the top of the list. Also, a liver. Did you know you could take a sliver of a liver and put it in someone and that could regenerate and regrow and they could have a liver? So those are the living donors that, can help out in the organ donation world. Again, I want to thank each and every one of you so very much for listening to this podcast. And like I said, if you have a story that you would like to share, I don't care if you're a donor family, which we've had on the air, or maybe you've had an organ transplant, or you're a living donor. Love to hear your story and get it out for everyone to hear here on the Gift of Life, the Organ Transplant Podcast. So like I said, please, if you can do it, be a donor. Also, make sure you join us every Tuesday as we drop new episodes. We'll not be dropping an episode next Tuesday, New Year's Eve. We will wait until, the first, well, it is the first, but we're going to wait until we get into the 1st of January before we drop another episode. So we're going to actually take a week off, people. We'll enjoy that. And as we do, once again, if there's an email or you would like to be on the podcast, drop us that email, giftoflifepodcast@gmail.com. Once again, that's giftoflifepodcast@gmail.com. Don't forget to join us on Facebook. Same name, Gift of Life, the Organ Transplant Podcast. Until next time, I'm BJ Odom. Thank you so much for being a part of our journey and others, and reminding us, each and every one of us, to enjoy the extraordinary gift of life this holiday season.